Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I was getting ready to say good morning like I normally do, but I remembered it's not morning. It's good to have each of you who are here. I hope that you are here. And we want to talk today about boundaries. Good afternoon, sunshine. Glad you are here. We know that this is not the normal time for many of you, and so we expect that you will be back at another time, and we're fine with the replay. Just remember that when you watch the replay to share anyway, even though it's not live. There are those who may need to hear. We want to bless any who want to be blessed by what we share on today. So good to have each of you here. You can go on and let me know you're here if you choose to, and so that I can speak to you and say hello. But I'm going to jump right into this because we are obviously not at our normal time. Good afternoon. See, I'm still trying to say morning, Rhonda. Good afternoon, Rhonda. Good to have you. Today we want to talk about the black and white of boundaries. Why do I say the black and white of it? It's not about color, y'all. The black and white of boundaries is simply that we've got to be very sure what our boundaries are. Matthew 5:37 says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. For whatever is more than these is from the evil one. So what Jesus is really saying to us in that, which is part of the Sermon on the Mount, is that there is a danger in wishy-washy. There's a danger in not being able to clearly know what it is that you are willing to deal with. Boundaries are important. And often because many of us are people pleasers, we allow our boundaries to be skewed. We do what Robin Thicke's song said, we have blurred lines. We blur the lines between what is and what is not, because we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we have to stand for something and end up maybe alienating someone that we may care about. But boundaries are necessary for our lives. If we do not set boundaries, then we find ourselves being pulled in entirely too many different directions, and we are not able to stand our ground and just say enough. The truth is, there are those who will push and pull us until we end up being out of character because we've pushed ourselves to the limits. I'm not talking to you today about something I have under control. I'm working on it, but we're all a work in progress. And so we're working on this together. Boundaries are necessary. Sometimes we are unable to set boundaries because we are not clear about our own desires, our own wants. We're not sure about what it means to be who we are. And when we're not sure about us, then we find ourselves in positions where our yes is not yes and our no is not no, and everything is maybe. That's a gray area existence. And while that's fine in academia, that's fine to be able to see both sides of an issue and maybe that which is between them. When in your life, you've got to know what is beneficial for your life and what is harmful for your life. You got to know when you're being pulled too far in too many different directions and how to say the important full sentence, no. Yep, no is a complete sentence. It is an implied it's an implied subject that I say, no, complete sentence, finished, done. Learn how to say no, because no implies that you understand your boundaries. I remember before my mother passed away, I was amazed one day when she was able to say to someone whom she very seldom been able to say no to, that I don't want to do that. She just said no. And I remember the shock on the person's face and said, what did you say? She said, I said no. And their question for her was, Why? And her very simple but effective and strong answer was, because I don't wish to. We got to be able to say, because I don't wish to. Not a long drawn out conversation about why you're saying no and what you wish you could do. Sometimes it's very simple. I don't wish to do that. That is not beneficial for my life. It's not helping me today. I'm unable to meet your request. There are things that we have to be able to clearly say, no, that's just not on my agenda. That's not in my purview. That's not something that I can add to my schedule. And there's a freedom in it, because then you learn that, guess what? People live on the other side of your no. Is that a news flash for us? Isn't that a wonderful thing, that people will live on the other side of our no? We tell children no all the time and we expect them to live, but we struggle with telling adults no because we think that somehow we'll be judged for our no. Well, judge me. I'm learning to say, as my friend Darren Williams says all the time, judge me. Judge me, because my no has to mean no sometimes. And it can't be a gray area. It can't be, I do it, but maybe I should do it. Sometimes, and more times than we try to do it. We have to really take the assessment and say, no. I thought about it, but no. Not able to do it. Not able to do it because it places me in a position where I am hurting me so that you can benefit. And when we consistently put ourselves in a position where we are hurting ourselves to benefit someone else, then we are not setting good boundaries. Boundaries are hard because we want people to like us. We want people to know we care. And so we tend to push and do the things that we feel they need because, of course, we want that to be the expression of our love for them. But when we give from a place where we don't have, when we give from an empty picture, when we give from a fountain that is dry, when we give out of our emptiness, then we're not really giving anything anyway. So we've got to learn how to pull back, say no, so that we can replenish, we can restore, so that we can not only be of help to others, but that we don't continue to damage ourselves in the process of trying to make sure someone else is happy. Am I saying that we're not supposed to give, that we're not supposed to care, that we're not supposed to extend ourselves? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when we do it at the expense of our livelihood, at the expense of our health, at the expense of being able to spend devotional time with God, when we do it at the expense of taking care of ourselves, when we give at the expense of everything that we know we need, then we're no longer giving, we're martyrs. And everybody's not called to be a martyr. It has to be something that you're called to do. But the truth of the matter is, most of us do it because we want to be liked. We want to please someone else. And we don't think about pleasing ourselves, let alone pleasing God. God does not want a vessel working for and working in the kingdom that is so spent from not being able to say no. Right, Joy, and not being able to give from an empty cup, that we are unable to fulfill our purpose in our lives. So, my word for you today, my encouragement for you today, is learn the importance of boundaries, and it's black and white. It's either yes or no. If it's yes, then do it with all the fervor you have, because you've said yes and your word matters. But if it's no, please know that no is a complete sentence and they will live beyond your no. Find a way to set healthy boundaries for your life. You will be able to give much more. You will be able to be much more productive. And you will be the blessing you'd like to be, as opposed to giving out of that empty cup and being resentful and not having any joy in what you do. God bless you. Heaven smile on you today. I pray that you have been blessed by these few moments of reminder. For most of us know that boundaries are important, but we've allowed it to slip because we wanted people to like us. We wanted people to feel like we cared. We wanted to do all of the things that we feel like we're supposed to do in our lives, but we've done them at the expense of a life that's precious to us, our own. Go forth today. Set your boundaries. Be kind when you can. Be kind all the time, but be giving when you can. Share when you can. But when it's too much, when you need to care for you, pull back. Learn the importance of the blessing of a smiling. I mean it, I love you, but my answer is no. And be encouraged. I'll see you soon. Send this to somebody. Somebody needs to know how to set great boundaries and still love. See you soon.